Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today I'm going to be doing the final tier list for the 2024 VCT season, that being EMEA. Now I'll be honest, I have basically gained my patience was lost of just waiting for Koi to announce their roster. So I'm just going to just put Koi in D because I got nothing on Koi. Koi is just an absolute mystery. So moving over from that, let's now talk about BBL Sports as our first team to actually talk about. And I mean, they have good pieces. Obviously, has some veteran presence like Pora, Elite as well. Brave and Kitchener X, pretty sure those two are staying from the previous roster in 2023. They've also got Loris as well as a sub, and then Rezi, who'll be also coming in as well. And I think Elite will be basically be rejoining BBL Esports after about to be playing for them in 2023, but then I'm pretty sure got poached to Supermassive Esports last year. I'm not really too sure. I don't know, some weird stuff happening there. But I'll be honest, I'm not really expecting much from this roster like last year. I mean, they just try their hardest to build a super team, but I mean, Kiwi was easily available, but they just fumbled the bag there. CNET was also available, but also fumbled the bag. And and they really want to try to sing of like Supermassive Blaze back in like Berlin 2021, where like they were absolutely goated online, especially, and then they just kind of flopped on LAN. And that's kind of what I'm getting here as well from BBL. I don't think they're going to be. I don't think they're worse than Koi. I think they probably maybe a C tier, maybe the tail end of C tier. I'll be honest. Next up is Fnatic, and Fnatic is incredibly easy, an easy S tier. They basically kept everyone except for the coach of Mini, and Mini has now gone down to the assistant coach role, and Elmer Putty, he's now up to the head coach role, moving over from Gen G. All in all, phenomenal roster, easy S tier. Foot Esports is pretty interesting. They've actually have made some amazing changes. I mean, they kept Mr. Fallen, Cracks, and at the captain, which makes sense. Even though I thought, I mean, Cracks wasn't too bad. He definitely had some glimpse, obviously. But they have replaced Kiwi with CNET, and they've also gotten J as well, replaced for Moj, which also makes sense. I thought Moj was maybe their weakest team, well, I should say that, yeah, the weakest player in my opinion, so that makes sense. But either way, this is still a phenomenal roster. I don't think it's really S tier. They're definitely A tier. I'll say that. Definitely A tier. I don't think they're up into S tier yet. I think that definitely reserves to two main teams. But I mean, Foot could definitely be an S tier, but obviously I might be wrong. Obviously, but I'll probably maybe change throughout the tier list in this video. Next up is Giant X, or formerly called Giants Gaming. They have a decent roster. I mean, the only change they've gotten is that they got rid of Rhyme. Rhyme retired from professional play, and Redgar has now officially joined the team as a new IGL. Solid, just solid. I think just maybe a B tier team in my opinion. Now, Carmine Core is pretty interesting as they have just revamped the whole roster. They've kept Shin from last year, which I'll be honest makes sense. I thought Shin was maybe their best player from last year, so that makes sense. Zysh as well, he's now moved back to the assistant coach role. And they've added Magnum as a new IGL, Tamazi, Narade, and Martin. And also got Ang as well as a new head coach. This is weird because I basically have like three duelist players, like Tamazi, Narade, and Martin. Only Magnum and Shin, those two are the only ones who aren't duelists. So I'm not really too sure what it's like, what the roles are gonna be looking like. I think Tamazi might be a sentinel, I'm pretty sure, and then Shin is still initiator, and Magnum is the controller, I think, or maybe Shin is the controller, and I'm not really too sure. I can't remember, but I think Martin is the full-time duelist, and then the right is the flex. I'm pretty sure, but I might be wrong about that. Oh no, this is actually a decent roster. I don't think they're better than Giants in my opinion. I think Giants is definitely better because of just a lot more experience. I mean, they basically kept four of their players. Pimpson is still there as well. I think they're probably B tier. I don't think they're as better Giants, I'll be honest, in my opinion. Next up was obviously Koi, but I mean, if you want to do what Koi's roster looks like, it's just this, Kodamento, Sarzo, and Shados, and we don't know who the other two are. It's just I don't know what's happening with Koi. No one really knows what's happening with Koi, so that's why they're in D tier. Navi now. Easy S tier once again. I don't think they're better than Fnatic, but definitely S tier. This is basically the roster that they had in Masters Copenhagen. They have added artists into the lineup. to replace CNED. That's really all. They haven't really made any other changes. Easy S tier for Na'Vi. Team Heretics is pretty interesting as they have a weird like mesh of players. So they have Boo at the IGL, who's the only one who's actually sticking around. I guess unless you count Benji Fishy, who was in LCQ. They've also added Boo's little brother Mini Boo, and then Root and Rhines as well. And Patty Tech, he's going to be playing for Woot because Woot is not 18, so he's going to be there for kickoff. I don't really think Patty Tech is going to be there for the whole season, but I'll be quite surprised if that is the case. They've also kept the coaching staff as well as with Nilzina and Weber. This is I'm not really too sure about this roster because this roster could maybe surprise. I mean, they don't really do well in in the Heretics XP show match there. They were kind of just all over the place, and even as well in the Red Bull Homeground. I mean, they lost to Focus. Yikes, which is absolutely a tier 2 team competing in the Dash region. So I mean, this team could maybe surprise me. But of just the performances that they've had during the offseason, I mean, they legit lost it in the Crossfire Cup in the quarterfinals against UCAM Esports Club, a freaking Spanish tier 2 team. Seriously. I'll probably maybe say they might be worse than BBL, but I'm not really too... I mean, like I said, they have great players, but they just need to gel well. I mean, I don't know. This team is just a major question mark for me. They could be better than BBL. They could be worse than BBL. I generally have no idea, but I think that's somewhere that my opinion, I think they're definitely a C tier team. But I'm not really too sure where Heretics will go. I'm going to put them for now in the bottom of C tier, but I'm just not too sure, I'll be honest. Team Liquid now, as they have a pretty good roster. They have Enzo as the IGL. They kept Yampi and Naz, and along with Enzo, they have Mystic and Keiko. Obviously, all three of them formerly from the Apex days. And I don't know why Harmy's still there. I don't think Harmy is going to be a sub for the team. They've also kept Emil as well. This is a very solid roster. They did lose to Sentinels. I mean, the Africa TV tournament was the only offseason that they played, and they were actually not too bad. They were actually pretty decent. They did lose to T1 somehow. They won against Edward Gaming, which was burnt out. They won against Fantasy United Esports, which kind of no one really had their money on. And they lost to Sentinels, which were basically the favorites. I don't really know about this team. I'll say maybe a solid B tier. I think they're definitely better than Giants and Carmine Core, in my opinion. But, I mean, it really depends on how they're going to go, because I don't really know if Nats is still going to be lurking at Cypher or something. I have no idea. It's going to be an absolute mystery. A team that I'm very high on is Team Vitality. Like, I have... the hopes I have for this team is over the top. It's amazing. So, they have kept Sender and Destrain. Pretty sure Destrain is going to be playing for kickoff only, because Trax is on sub. They've also added Kix, Runner, and Safe. Safe formerly from Team Liquid, Runner formerly from Diamond Esports, and I can't remember where Kix is from right now. But they were pretty competitive in the Convergence tournament. They came second place to Foot Esports. They went against Global Inferior. To be fair, both of them are basically mid-pack teams, I'll be honest, in their respective regions. They haven't changed anything in their coaching staff as well. They have like 1,500 coaches as well, so that's something to talk about. But I am pretty high on this team. I don't think they're better than Foot. They're definitely an A tier, but I'm pretty high on this team. And the final team is Gentlemates, the Ascension winners. They have not changed a single thing. I mean, this team, I was not expecting them to actually win Ascension. My money was either on Apex or Ascendant, but they just flipped the switch and they just had a massive tear. I don't really know how this roster is going to go compared to everyone else. One thing I will say about this team is that they have the synergy. They have been playing with each other for basically an entire year. So they definitely have the synergy. They have they have the veterans of just being around each other. But this team could flop. I'll be honest, this could be a very decent team. And Gentlemates is also very hard to really manage, because Gentlemates have not played a single off-season tournament ever since Ascension. So Ascension was the final time that we actually saw Gentlemates play. So I have no idea how this team is going to go. I genuinely just have no idea. They could be C tier, they could be maybe the tail end of B tier, which I'm going to put them there. I think they're going to be a B tier, maybe just a back end B tier team. But I'll say this: the viewership when Carmichael and Gentlemates ever verse each other is gonna be through the freaking roof. Considering that I think Gentlemates is also owned by a content creator over in France, a very popular one, and Carmichael is owned also by Komodo as well, another popular French content creator. That matchup is going to be through the roof. So I'm not really too sure. I think I might be happy with this one. I think maybe I'm rating Giants a little bit too high. Maybe even Carmine Court as well. Not really too sure, but I think this is probably where I'm going to be starting in it. I think that I'm pretty okay with it. Even though Heretics could actually surprise me. I mean, they have some great players on that team. So I might be, I don't know, maybe sleeping on Heretics a bit or something. Not really too sure, but I think this is probably where the team, like where it's gonna be. But we just have to wait and see at the end of the season. So now I'd like you now guys to like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me, especially on this channel. And obviously subscribe if you also want to see basically more content around Valorant as well. I'll be doing my pick'em soon, not only for myself but also for the simulation. That'll be also coming back as well. So that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys the next time in the next one. Goodbye.